That flag represents the philosophies and the standards and the way in which the people who are in that government building think and function and act. And to take the symbol down, cool, we can do it. However, it is still true that those people are going to function in ways and like to create the environment of the Confederacy. They're holding on to that piece of history, and they have the right to hold on to that. It doesn't matter if I agree with it or not. They have the right to hold on to that, and I respect that they raise their flag in front of their buildings because that's what they appreciate. Because now I know who you are, I know how to function with you, and we're here with it. Peace. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome, family, to Tea Time Podcast by Atiya J. This is your self-help, spiritual podcast, uplifting topics we all love to avoid, but we definitely need to conquer. Tea time is your moment to pause, listen, and absorb what is soothing to you. I'm Atiya J, aka Tia, a certified holistic life coach, and this idea was sparked by my passion to help others discover their latent potential, purpose, and significance, especially if you are one who feels overlooked, alone, or forgotten. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. I see you and I feel you. Welcome to Tea Time Podcast. Enjoy the tea. Peace. Assalamu alaikum. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Tea Time Podcast. It's your girl, Atiya J, aka Tia, aka TT, and we are getting into another episode of season 4 of the podcast with our theme of conquering fear. And today we are conquering the fear of speaking with authority. We are conquering the fear of authority out here today. And this episode was inspired by a video that I will show in a bit. But as you know, if you listen to my podcast, I do not talk about what you think I'm typically going to talk about. And on here, I'm not really interested, unless I say I'm interested, in the debate of opinion. So we're not really interested in the debate of opinion in this episode. What I am interested in is something underlying in the way things were said, what was said, how it was said, and in the essence and environment that it was said in. And yeah, so let's get into it. Today, I wanted to discuss conquering the fear of authority because of a video that Jess Hilarious posted. If you don't know who Jess Hilarious is, she's hilarious. She's a comedian from Baltimore, and she is on Wild 'N Out, and she does a lot of stand-up. I've actually seen her stand-up. She's hilarious in person. A great comedian. She's dope. So I am a fan. But she posted a video that surprised me on Instagram, and let's watch it. First, we're going to watch the video that she's responding to, and then we're going to watch her video. That is the way it was posted on her page. So let's get into it.
What I mean when the transphobia just comes out, the audacity and just the arrogance for cis women to believe that they own periods, that they own womanhood. You don't. Okay, you don't own periods. You don't own womanhood. You experience both, and both are different for every person. But as a cis woman, it doesn't belong to you, so you can't gatekeep it. Like, hello?
Hello. Who the fuck is gonna stand up for us? Who the fuck stands up for us? And us, I mean women, real women, biological women, women who were born with all the parts that you guys wish that you were. When does the delusion stop? What is the difference between you and someone who has been diagnosed to be mentally insane? What's the only difference is you don't have a straitjacket on. Stop talking out your fucking ass. Wake up. How are you projecting your anger on real women? Because we are the gatekeepers. We are the gatekeepers for periods. We the only one that fucking bleed, honey. We the only ones that can give birth We make y'all people. We make y'all. Y'all come from us. You can't be us. You will never. You're chasing something you'll never, ever get. You'll never be that.
Like, hello?
All right. Now, that video in her comment section is interesting because it's sparking a lot of debate. But that's not what we are here for. What I want to do is actually parse her words, parse the way that she said it, and get into what authority is. What is authority? Why is authority? How is authority established? And what and how should we function with and around it? These thoughts just came up to me while she was speaking, and this comes from me because the way that I grew up, I don't like people to be, uncomfortable. I don't like people to be angry. I don't like people. I'm a people pleaser. Like, I realized about myself that I am a people pleaser. And I'm not a people in the way that I will change my opinion to make someone feel good. But I won't state my opinion sometimes to make someone feel good. Or I will I'll just be quiet. Like, a lot of times in my life, I was just quiet when perhaps my words could have offended somebody, or perhaps I could have made somebody uncomfortable. And that came from a place of really just not trying to make somebody uncomfortable. But as I reflect on those moments, and I've been doing some self-reflection, like I've spoken about my rites of passage women's course that I've been through, which is actually a course that Mama Iyanla, who puts it on, says it's about femininity. So men or women could be involved in it, but it's about our feminine energy. However, when it came to me and my history of people pleasing, I am kind of just receiving that I was throwing away the authority I had of my experiences, the authority that I have of me as a Black woman, me as a mother, me as a wife, the authority of my experience, who I am, what my gifts and talents are. When I am aiming to people please, I am closing the lid on my light and allowing other people to shine around me, right? And that is not beneficial for anyone. That's not beneficial because when my light shines, I enhance the light of those shining around me. If I dim my light, those other people will not see my light, and they know something is hidden. They know something is not there. So in going from that kind of thinking of authority, I was shocked and proud of the way that Jess Hilarious spoke, because she spoke from a place of authority. She spoke from a place of authority. And I want to look at the definition of authority before we get into how I picked up on that in watching this video. So I'm at Merriam-Webster, and the definition of authority is power to influence or command thought, opinion, or behavior. A person in command or persons in command. A governmental agency or corporation to administer a revenue-producing public enterprise. So that's like transit authority, housing authority. Another definition is grounds or warrant, or a convincing force. Or an individual cited or appealed to as an expert. So the convincing force is a part of the definition that I want to focus on right now. What's interesting about this Merriam-Webster page is that words have definitions and they also have meaning. So I want to highlight that. So I just read the definition. If you scroll down a little more, they kind of get into the meanings of these definitions. So, in under the section that says choose the right synonym for authority, I want to read into the part where it says authority implies the power of winning devotion or allegiance, or of compelling acceptance and belief. And the example of authority in that respect is his opinions lacked authority. So, authority right there is what I want to hone in on, because I truly believe that when we have the truth, and we'll get into it, I'm going to let someone else speak for me because he can say it way better than me. But when we have the truth, we have the power to compel somebody to understand what we're saying. And in the way Jess Hilarious spoke, she was, in my understanding, she was speaking truth, right? She was speaking to, and there was kind of pain in her words, but she was speaking to the fact that as women, and I'm a woman myself, so I'm speaking with the authority of my experience. As women, we are constantly overlooked. We are constantly stepped on. We are constantly told that we need to sit in the back, or we need to cater to others, or we need to respect others. And people do not stand up for us. And we're not respected for what we do as being the mothers of civilization. All women, all of us, right? So in what she was saying, she was explaining that we are the gatekeepers. And this is not about owning a period. If you're a woman, you don't care about owning your menstrual cycle. If we could get rid of it and have these beautiful babies, trust me, we would. It is not fun. But and again, this is not an opinion. I want to focus on the facts, the truth in what she was saying and how she was saying it. And in the truth of what she was saying, how she spoke about when women in our menstrual cycles, how we have them because we are the only ones able to give birth to anyone and everyone. And that is not something that can be transferred into. That's not something that can be passed along or something that can be given to somebody. That is our natural order. That is our birthright. And it is nonsensical and foolish to speak against the truth of that being the natural order of things, and that being the truth about how life works. Without a woman, without a natural woman, you cannot create. You will not have a menstrual cycle. And there's a purpose for it, because we women have wombs. Wombs, right? I've seen that written sometimes. We women have wombs, and that is for the purpose of creation. So there is a natural order to things, and that natural order, when we accept it, it's only true. And that does not knock anyone for what they want to do and how they want to live. Do you, boo-boo? However, I saw that initial internet clip of, I think last week sometimes, and for me, it was something I'm not responding to or reposting because I don't have nothing to do with that. However, the clip did bother me because people were applauding it as if that were for the trans woman to say that. I don't know her name, but for that woman trans woman to say, you're not the gatekeeper of periods, you don't own periods, other people experience periods too. Those are just lies, and you can be a trans woman and not get a period and be okay with that. You don't have to try to usurp or take over everything that a woman is, because who we are and what we are is absolutely only for us, because we have a task that a man cannot do. We have a task that a trans woman cannot do, and that needs to be respected. And that is the authority and the truth that I saw and felt in Jess Hilarious's words. And I love it because that's how I felt when I saw that. Like, do you know how ridiculous that sounds for a trans woman to tell a woman that you're not the gatekeeper of periods, other people get it? That's similar to when they wanted to, I think they did take the female symbol off of one of the pads that they were selling in stores. What kind of sense does that make? Yeah, we're gonna put a female symbol on pads. Hey, if you get your period but you decide that you are in the wrong body, that's understandable. But to take the female symbol off of a pad, what kind of message is that saying? You know, we live in a world where not everything is going to rock with you. Even this goes beyond just female male relations and femininity and masculinity. For me, even when it came to taking down the Confederate flag from certain government buildings, that's cool. That's awesome. Those are very symbolic. However, that does not knock the truth of what those institutions stand for. They put that Confederate flag up because that is what they believe in. That is the history that they are holding on to. That flag represents the philosophies and the standards and the way in which the people who are in that government building think and function and act. And to take the symbol down, cool, we can do it. However, it is still true that those people are going to function in ways and like to create the environment of the Confederacy. They're holding on to that piece of history, and they have the right to hold on to that. It doesn't matter if I agree with it or not. They have the right to hold on to that, and I respect that they raise their flag in front of their buildings because that's what they appreciate. Because now I know who you are, I know how to function with you, and we're here with it. I can respect somebody who is true to themselves. I can respect somebody who is working off of the functions of truth rather than somebody who wants to hide and lie and put up a front about who they are, how they're thinking, and what they know about themselves. So, in that, authority and truth to me are very directly connected. So I want to focus on this point of authority implying the power of winning devotion or allegiance or of compelling acceptance and belief. And the only time, in my belief, that authority is the only time that authority is easily respected, right, is when there's truth. And that authority coming with truth sometimes by somebody who's not ready for the truth can be attacked, and it can be spoken at as hate, right? Perfect example is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So I want to play a clip from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, him speaking about truth. And if you know who he is, and if you don't know, even his name holds a certain authority, and that is because he has spoken for 60 years, or he has worked for 60 years, and he has spoken and led the nation under the authority and under the teaching of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad for years and generations, telling the truth. And we always didn't like it, but we could never call him a liar. And that's the authority that he stands on. So let's watch this clip.
You want to know what your role is? A lot of us want to fight, but we ain't got nothing to fight with that's really worthy of note. But if you got the truth, yes, sir, that's what Satan don't like. Because he's a liar and a deceiver. And that's what the synagogue of Satan is all about. So they've put me in every school as a hater. They in the Southern Poverty Law Center. You didn't think we were going to fight back? Well, I'm going to close by telling you what your future is. You see, the minister is a precious cornerstone. And the minister is a stone of stumbling. And he's the stone that the builders rejected, but God is making him the headstone of the corner of his kingdom on earth. Real talk. Now look at what the scripture said. A Jewish man said to me, you know, we say never again. Never again will we be in an oven. Never again. I said, hold it. You can say that to men, but you can't say that to God. Because the Bible says, behold, the day cometh that shall burn as a what? As an oven. And those who do wickedly, he will slay them and leave them neither root nor branch. This is a stone of stumbling. So now you stumble over me now. And if you fall on me, the book says, you get broken into pieces. But if I fall on you, you be ground into powder, and I'm falling on all of the enemies of God. We're either going to be right or we're going to be dead. The war of Armageddon is to decide who will live on this earth. You can't live on an earth that was made for the righteous and think you can continue practicing evil and God won't punish you or take your life. And I am telling you, brothers and sisters, God don't want to hurt you. God doesn't want to harm you. But God will chastise you in a way that you will know God is after you. And you'll know when you get the whipping that you can't sleep at night. And you wish the night would end and the day would come, but he's going to be whipping you. Not that he hates you. It's because he loves you. He does not want you to go down with Satan. I hate what Satan has done to us as a people. And God does too.
Few things that stuck out for me there. Truth, authority, God, and love. In the nation, we are taught to respect those in authority above you unless it conflicts with your religion. And I'm understanding that in another level. When the conflicting with your religion part, I never really understood. Like, what conflicts with my religion? Clearly, things like the vaccine and stuff, that conflicts with my religion. Being drafted, which I didn't have to deal with as a woman, for now, that might be different. But being drafted to the army, that conflicts with my religion. Those are specific things. But I always thought, what else conflicts with my religion? And now I'm coming into the realization that when things are functioning off of a lie, when things are functioning outside of the realm of truth, outside of the truth, that is a conflict to my religion, right? If I have a religion where we're taught that Allah hates a liar, we're taught that we should not lie at all because that's not in our nature, then that means that lying and liars and those that twist facts in order to paint a picture that they want to see rather than looking at facts and trying to delve into the truth of the facts, then that is a conflict of my religion. I have no respect for your authority. So I have a respect for the authority that people have living their truth, right? I have a respect for that people, for everyone, that they have for being who it is that they want to be, going on their journey, going on their path. I am the judge of no one, and I have no authority to judge anyone. However, when that conflicts with my religion, when that conflicts with the truth of what things are, that is where I do not respect your authority. That authority is not above mine, right? So when someone tells me a blatant lie about how something is, you tell me it's the middle of the day right now, but you want to try to convince me that it is nighttime 24/7, or you want to convince me that the earth is flat. That is a lie. That's not something that I'm going to respect. That actually might be something I'm going to listen to see why people think like that. I really don't understand that. But that I know that that's a straight up lie. I know that that is untrue. That is not true. So the things that the minister was saying in that clip and how he was saying it, he was speaking with the authority that I can't speak to at all. But the minister has an authority bestowed upon him by God. He has an authority because he is the one sent to bring light to all of us to help elevate humanity. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is doing a work, and you can hear the love in his voice because he wants to elevate and save humanity, all people. He wants us to have truth because Satan is blocking us from truth. He wants us to have truth so that we may come to the righteousness that is within us and to the nature of how God made us. And that's why he speaks the way he does. That's why he has the authority. And we often do not speak and share our authority because we get caught up in opinions, which is why I started with, I'm not trying to debate anybody's opinion. Live how you want to live. Go through your journey. I went through mine and I live how I want to live. And that is respect. But when you now step on my authority, or when you try to assert an authority over me with false information and misinformation and a disturbed way of thinking, as Just Hilarious pointed out, that is when now I need to speak up with authority and shut that down. I need to shut that down because that's not true. And of course, that doesn't mean I'm going to do that 24/7 on social media because I see things all the time that need to be shut down. And that's not my thing to be a judge. However, I was called in to highlight what Just Hilarious said because she said it in such a plain, she speaks how she speaks. She's from Baltimore. So if you know people from Baltimore, that's how they speak. I love it. But she said it very plainly and clearly how the way that trans woman was speaking was just completely insane in that moment. And she gave the truth as to why, right? And I really think that lies in right now, the divine feminine and femininity is rising, right? And as women, we are tired of being disrespected. We are tired of being overlooked. And I posted this on my story when I shared that clip, that I think Just Hilarious responded in the way that she did and so authoritatively because of the fact that men are transitioning to women. Cool, do you. However, men still have that masculine nature, right? And in the masculine nature, it is natural for them to dominate. So you have a man transitioning to women, and they might have a heightened sense of femininity. That's awesome. But men transitioning to women, then telling women what they can do as women, is completely a masculine thing. And as women, we are tired of that. You're not, as a man transitioning into a woman, going to be able to tell us, who are mothers, who are wives, who raise boys, who have experienced things that you can never experience and you should never experience. We don't want you to go through some of the stuff that we go through to tell us now what a woman can say about our bodies and our menstrual cycles, which are divine, right? That's such a masculine thing to do. So that was a call out. Get it together. That wasn't transphobia. That wasn't hate. That's just hilarious, speaking straight words, speaking the truth, speaking with authority. And we often are afraid to speak with authority because, like Just Hilarious is getting called out in the comments as transphobic, and like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been called every type of hateful name. Transphobic, he's been called homophobic, he's been called and anti-Semitic, which we know all the time. He's been called all of these things: a hater, a bigot. I don't know how you call a black man a bigot, but anyway, when people speak with authority, like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, Satan hates that. And at the end of the day, Satan is the ruler of the world that we have been experiencing, but God is the overall ruler of all, right? And what we are experiencing is a shift in rulership, and it is all ordained. I want to point to, and I don't know where it's going to lead me, but I'm just going to read it, and I have to close out the podcast. But I want to point to, in the Quran, if you've never seen this beautiful book, here it is. In the Quran, Surah, or chapter 16, verse 35, it says, "And the idolaters said, had Allah pleased, we had not served aught but him, neither we nor our fathers, nor had we prohibited aught without order from him. Thus did those before them, but have the messengers and duty, except a plain delivery of the message." I want to read the footnote on that to help explain what that means. I was reading the footnote. They would not give a serious thought to the prophet's message that evil works bring an evil consequence, but met it with the rejoinder that if Allah did not like evil, he could have diverted them from evil ways. They are told in reply that Allah's pleasure is not exercised by compelling people to adopt one way or the other, but by sending his messengers in every age and to every nation to point out the right way to the people, and by clear messages through the mouths of his ministries to warn people to avoid evil. Dang. That's right on point. I just turned to this page in the Quran yesterday morning. I didn't get it. Now I get it. What the minister just said is so powerful. I want to point out the words in the footnotes: compelling, right? So Allah doesn't work with, I'm going to force you to do this, right? Allah is the judge. However, what I am realizing and understanding God more and more in my life and how things work is that God will allow us to do what it is that we are going to do, because that is the journey we are meant to be on. And it will either teach us a lesson that will elevate us, or it will bring us further and further down into the depths and remaining in our devilishment, right? And all of us have it. This is not pointed to anybody. This is me speaking to myself. All of us have a devilishment, or a low vibrational, or a low way of doing things. And Allah, the idolaters in this verse said, oh, well, Allah, if you didn't want us to do these certain things, and you could have stopped us if you have such authority. But Allah's authority is not enforcing somebody to do something. Our authority is not enforcing others to do something. Our authority is in the truth. Our authority is in the natural way that we all learn our lessons. Our authority is in using our experience to inform what we do and inform how we learn about life and God and our purpose, etc. Our authority is in love, and love is duty, and our duty is to find the truth. That's it. Wow. That just all connected. Woo. Praise be to Allah. But the minister said it so well in that clip, and I respect and appreciate Jess Hilarious for speaking the way that she did, because as women, we're over it. As women, we have the authority not to, bash somebody for their life decisions, but don't come and step on who we are as women. Do not come and step on our authority as women, because we're tired of it, and we're rising up and we're standing up. And I appreciate everyone for listening to this podcast episode. If you want to check out the video, go to patreon.com/teatimepodcast and subscribe there to see the video episode. I'm going to be posting clips on YouTube for you to watch. Thank you for listening to me on Spotify. And don't forget to visit ByAtiyaJ.com/teatimepodcast to get updates on all the podcast episodes and some extra stuff. Plus, see my website for my life coaching, photography, and more services. But I appreciate everyone for listening. This really does come from a place of love. Like I said, it's not about our opinion, it's about the truth. So I pray that all of us can reflect on the truth. I pray that I can reflect on the truth as I listen back to this podcast. And I hope that everyone goes with peace, love, and light. Peace.